This conference will now be recorded.
So hello and welcome to MS Support Group with AnCan. So my name is Andrea. I was diagnosed in 2012 with relapsing MS, and I'm on opioids. Marla, would you mind introducing yourself?
Did you say May? Okay. My onset was 97. I was diagnosed in 22. I'm on dimethyl fumarate. I'm from Michigan. My name is Marlo.
Thank you. I forgot to say I'm in North Carolina. Excellent. Thank you. Jennifer, how about you?
Okay, I'm taking notes, or I'm trying. So forgive me. I'm Jennifer. I am from Michigan, which is way proudly representing today. I have secondary progressive MS, and I was diagnosed in 1997. It's good to see you all, by the way.
Good to see you too. And for all the Michigan people here, I was just reading before the meeting started that the aurora borealis are supposed to be visible in Michigan tonight. So go out and look up.
Woo! Yes.
Wow.
There was a class 4 sunspot that erupted on Friday, and I was just getting here. Courtesy of spaceweather.com. Not a spot.
Awesome. Why don't you introduce yourself, John?
All right. Hi, I'm John. I live about an hour west of Jennifer and like 2.5 hours northwest from Marlow. So Michigan is well
Hi.
represented. I was diagnosed in 2016 with relapsing remitting MS. I'm on Zeposia, and that's everything. I need a couple minutes today, of course.
Oh
Fabulous.
yeah, that's one thing. John kind of reminded Marlo. Do you need time?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. Yes, I need a small amount of time.
All right.
Awesome.
Okay, Andrea.
Awesome.
Sorry.
No problem. I'm not as good a moderator as Kim, but I do what I can.
Whatever.
Andrea, you're doing great.
Michelle, hello. Do you want to say hello and introduce yourself?
You're kind of coming in really forward right now. I don't know what happened. I'm in the car driving, so it's kind of not a good moment. So I kind of heard what you said in garble tone, so that's why I'm responding. But
Oh, you come
I
off
was
mute, but I'm
yeah,
not hearing anything.
I heard her
Michelle,
talking, but it was
you are
distorted and
very
Minnie Mouse like.
yes,
Yeah.
it's not good.
not good.
Yeah, you
Not
might
good.
want to get out. Michelle, you might want to leave and try to come back in because you're really distorted. And we hear you talking, but we can't understand anything, unfortunately.
Go on out and come back in, Miss Michelle. Because right now
Yeah,
there she's
yeah,
gone.
she went
There
out.
Okay.
she goes. All right. While we're waiting for her, Kim, do you want to say hi?
Hi, I'm Kim. I'm from Des Moines, relapsing and remitting, diagnosed in 2012. Currently on Ocrevus, and I don't think I have anything to talk about today. Just put me on as a question mark, but not a mandatory. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks for leading today. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it.
Of course. We're all here for each other. And Miss Carmen, welcome. So good to see you.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm having trouble with my headset. So anyway, I'm not gonna be able to stay too long, but I know I've missed you guys for a few weeks here, a few sessions. So I wanted to make sure to see you for the last time in 2024. Ah,
That's right.
I can't believe it's already New Year's Eve. 2022 is the longest year ever.
22? Is it still 22?
Yeah.
John?
Oh wait, it's gonna turn 24 now. It's all run together. It's all run together.
Exactly. Nice to see you all.
Very
You
nice to see you.
too. Jennifer, did I ever get to you?
Uh-huh.
Did? Okay. Did I miss anybody? We're still waiting for Michelle to come back. I think I got everybody.
Yeah.
Marlo, what was your question?
A friend of mine told me about an octave test to predict severity. Said it's a biomarker test. Has anybody heard of that?
Have.
Am I calling it the wrong thing? I'm having trouble finding it.
Octave, I think, is the name of the company that developed the test, and they use several different biomarkers in your blood. None of them alone will tell you much, but putting them together. So this is my MS memory on what I've heard about it, right? So it's a matter of taking the test on a regular basis, I think, and seeing how it changes over time. But did you try Googling Octave?
Yeah, and like you said, it's a company, not just a test. It's like I don't know what to ask for. I guess you got to go to a
Um,
neurologist and bring it up.
What is it testing, Marlo?
It's
Octave
supposed to,
MS disease activity test.
or and also
It's
severity.
go to rediscoverms.com.
Because they say it'll predict
And
severity.
is there a way to like share here? Let me see if I can share my screen.
There is a way to share. At the bottom. Oh, she
Can you see?
she did it.
Brilliant, Angie.
There you go.
Brilliant. Okay, goodbye.
So
Nice.
rediscoverms.com is where I went, and it looks like it's a Sanofi product. Maybe this is the wrong website. I thought this was it.
What kind of a test is it?
It's like
Like a
it's a
question
blood
and answer?
test.
Oh, it's a blood test. Oh.
It's a blood test. Yeah, here we go. Is a clinically validated biomarker blood test that measures patient disease biology, revealing underlying activated pathways and mechanisms. It measures blood concentrations of 18 proteins relevant to disease mechanisms across pathways. So immune modulation, neuroinflammation, myelin biology, blah, blah, blah. So if I click on this, so it looks like there's a few different websites. I will
I
put
hadn't even
this
heard of
one
this.
in chat. You haven't even heard of it?
No.
Yeah, so I'll try to put that in chat. So I just did a Google search on Octave MS disease activity test.
Okay.
And you'll get a bunch of links that will tell you more about it. Does that help, Marlo?
Sure, thanks.
And not to be obtuse, Marlo, but why do you want to, or I mean, if anybody else knows, like, what's the significance of the biomarker?
They say it can predict severity.
Okay.
And Marlo, I just want to say that we're quite familiar with Sanofi. They make a significant drug in the prostate cancer space, a type of chemotherapy. They're a very reputable, solid company.
Sanofi is the sponsor for the randomized control trial that I'm doing right now, actually.
You're in?
Oh,
Yeah, that's great. So yeah, I know the name, and I feel like it was FDA approved a couple of years ago, but they've been trying to figure out how to use the results. And so, and I don't know if your insurance will pay for it. So I hope that helped.
It does.
Interesting.
Carmen,
I'll have to look
since
into
you
that.
said you couldn't, since you said you couldn't stay long, did you want some time to talk?
You know what? I don't have much to say. I
Okay.
I'm having so much progression in the last couple of months. It's been really frustrating. So,
Yeah.
my trips to Vancouver every 3 months are pretty exhausting. Hang on. And yeah, just I don't really have much good to say right now. So I actually came on here just to see your smiley faces and say hello. And
Okay.
hopefully the new year is going to go a little smoother for everybody.
Now, do you celebrate the same year that we do up in Canada? Like, is it metric years or something?
No, it is the same year, John. You're so cute. Yeah, everything is the same.
Um, Carmen, tell us a little. It doesn't sound like the trial is working that well for you.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah, and it's a little bit frustrating of how they do it. Like you have to show sustained progression for 6 months. And so like my first testing in July, my first visit was September, so that was 3 months. And then again December, so that was 6 months. But that only shows progression now for 3 months. So it'll take till my next session to show more progression where they then potentially unblind you. So um, it won't be until this next visit that they actually see the 6 months of progression. And then it would be the next visit that I would be potentially unblinded. So that's another 6 months from now. So when I was there in September, the neurologist that did the testing, I mean, she realized like I couldn't even do the walk that day and I fell. So like it's obvious that I'm having progression. And so she had ordered an MRI. This was in September and she wanted it within the month. And it took until December until I raised holy hell with the manager to actually get the requisition sent in to our hospital. There was just kind of a bit of a problem with where they were sending it. The trial group doesn't normally send MRI requisitions, so it was just a gong show. So I finally have my next MRI next week. So I've had MRIs at the study, but those are only for the study. Like the neurologists don't get to review any of those. The only information they would get is a summary if there was significant changes from my baseline. So I haven't had a full brain and spinal MRI in 2 years. So I'm due for one. And my neurologist would have happily ordered one for me when I talked to him in November. But I said, no, 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 it's all under control. They've got it in. Well, no, they hadn't, because I had already called once and said, you guys haven't got it in. Like it's been just a gong show. So anyway, I need to get this MRI and then I need to like review it with my neurologist and see what's going on. And if I have like significant progression, because I've been off of Ocrevus now since well, it's probably a year now because I didn't do it in June so that I could enter this trial. Anyway, I've got a lot of big decisions to make, you know. If I have to wait another 6 months until I'm unblinded, and maybe I'm even on the medication and it's not doing anything. I don't know. There's so many unknowns. There's so many unknowns. But I just feel like I'm just slipping down this progression slide and it's awful. It's just awful. So, anyway, that's my summary.
Carmen, I'm just writing down it was a gong show because I think that's my new favorite phrase to what we used to call a fuckero
It
or
what?
fuckery, a fuckery or fuckero.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, it's a gong show. I love that. Thank you. That'd be my day.
Do you know where that comes from, John?
Yeah, the Gong Show,
That's right.
Yeah.
where a little man named Danny Elfman made his television premiere. I used to watch the Gong Show when I was a kid.
That's wild that you know the name
What?
of an actor.
No.
Who was it again, John?
Oh, Danny Elfman. He's a composer, but he was in the band Oingo Boingo for a very long time.
Oh, okay.
You know, the whole weird science stuff.
Oh, and soundtracks too. I know Danny Elfman. I love him. He does a lot of movie soundtracks. So
He's
anyway.
the man. He is the man.
And he
So-
did the Gong Show theme song or what?
Oh, sorry. He made his premiere on there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and he's a really, really famous composer.
Oh, okay. And he didn't get gonged, is what you're saying.
Nope, they loved him and brought the group back on next week. They're
Ah.
called the Mystic Knights of the Oingo Boingo. See, I can't remember where I put my fucking keys, but I can tell you who was on the Gong Show back then. Hi.
I love it. I love it.
Well-
Same.
Welcome to MS, right?
So, John, just to
I know.
digress for a second, did you also watch Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Oh, yeah.
So, you remember the house band?
Wait, hold on.
Rockapella?
Rick, are you telling me that you were in Rockapella?
I was not in Rockapella, but Elliot Kerman is an AnCanner. And if you're interested, I'll put the link in the chat to save you. But if you go to our Solo Arts Heal, you'll see a show I did with Elliot Kerman it was probably about 2-3 years ago. He's a great guy, and he's become a good friend.
Oh, good.
So, and for those of you who don't know, Elliot Kerman was one of the leaders of Rockapella, and Rockapella was a very popular band, and they were the house band on Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego.
Crazy, you guys. Those facts that you know.
Absolutely.
That is a bit. Oh, look who's here! Ooh, we've got Colombia coming in.
Yes, we've got Mike and Michelle. I wanted to come back to Mike for a second and see if Michelle can be heard now.
Yeah, she was talking beautifully earlier. Just came clear as
It
day.
was.
Yeah,
She is.
just
Do you want to
come.
introduce yourself, Michelle?
I'll introduce myself. I'm sorry. I'm in Atlanta, the city with the bipolar damn weather. I'm sorry. So it's Michelle Jones. I was diagnosed first 17 years ago. Didn't have a name for it. Just, hey, you got the damn symptom. You got the damn markers or whatever. But Dr. Nancy Weiner first diagnosed me in 17 years ago, about 2005. And it went into remission because I guess I was following in my own way, my own Walls protocol. And I started going raw, pretty much. I just started going really vegetables, and it just went away. I was playing football. I was still mobile. So the long and short of it, it went away, but I guess the stress of life in America had brought it back, and it came back with a vengeance. So there it is.
You need some time to talk today, Michelle?
If anything, just about the fact that the VA is now just not filling my medication anymore. So there you go. But I have my own feelings about that. Yeah.
Okay.
So I'll wait.
I want to get over to Mike real fast. Say hi to Mike and ask him to introduce himself.
Yes, is my mic working?
Yes.
I'm Mike from Arizona. Well, now I'm living in Medellin, Colombia. First time I've been able to join with video. Video in a couple of months. First time I've tried it and it works. I've had MS since 1997. I'm in secondary progressive. I really like this group, and I join whenever I can. And I need nothing more today. I may chime in with the answers. What we're talking about.
Right there is okay, honey.
So great to have you, Mike.
Thanks. there's a group here in Columbia. It's, I forget the acronym, but there is a group for multiple sclerosis, and I'm going to look into them. What to do, I don't know. I think it's a support group.
Awesome. Thank you, Mike.
Yeah.
John, did you have something to talk about today?
No, but thank you.
Did you take notes, Jennifer? Who else wanted time today?
I believe John wanted to mention something.
John, you're up.
Okay. I went to not a neuropsych, but just a psychiatrist because I was looking for, we all diagnose ourselves with stuff. That's just how it happens. And I believe that I have ADHD. And I went to my primary care, and we talked about it. And he said, yes, you're getting a referral. So I fulfilled that referral last week. And within the first 20 minutes, he complained about the other two neuropsychs that I've seen. Like, why the fuck did they catch ADHD? They should have seen that. They should have seen that. Great guy, though. Very easy to talk to. And he brought up a lot of things I didn't realize. So he diagnosed me with PTSD as well. Thanks, Mom, for the beatings and the corrections. So that was fun. But I start my new medicine today to see if a non-stimulant will work and just see how that happens. Try it for a couple of weeks, say this isn't working, I'm having side effects. We'll change it up. We're in the experimenting part of it. I think I want to see a regular psychiatrist or psychologist rather than a therapist. At this point, I think I need a PhD, not an MS. I have too much of that. So, yeah, start something new, different. It was a lot, but also a relief because I was right. I should have been diagnosed when I was in grade school. But you guys know Mom. I'm going to have her be here for AnCan one time. And have her do a question and answer session. You guys just ask her all the stuff. Just say why. Just say why. But, yeah, that's the big news. I hope that this will change my life. Starting in medicine, that could help. Get all my stuff together. Because I am losing my mind, right? Like, we're all losing our minds bit by bit. Thank you, Carmen. Yeah, it's a lot. We brought up a lot of stuff. Talked about it. We did this. I don't know what it, okay. Imagine, if you will, 3 lines of letters and numbers. Okay. That's 1 block. And there's 6 blocks to a page. We cool now? Now he said at the beginning, first row, cross off all the 2s and 7s. There are so many letters that look like a 2 or a 7. And right when I get almost to the end, you say, all right, next one. So I never completed a single thing. And he was doing that to see my frustration level when I couldn't complete the task. And we just did that for a formality. Like we didn't, he was already like, yeah, dude, not a problem. Like, this is what you're here for. and saw my primary care yesterday. Hold on a second. Hold on a second. Sorry. Thought Melissa needed something. Saw the primary care yesterday to figure out the medicine, and I hammered out all the interactions, right? All of them out. Any like interactions with like the 14,000 medicines I'm already on. Well, 13,999 because he took me off metformin. My diabetes is really well controlled, friends, and that's the big good news.
Awesome.
4.5, no big deal. It's been there for about a year. So why do you have to take one of these gigantic pills? Let's slim it down. So we added one, we took one off, and Melissa said that's the protocol from now on. Add me on any more medicines, you gotta take me one off. So at this point, I'm learning how to like live with it, even though I've been living with it forever. Finding those things to help compensate. All the things that they say, yeah, find someone with ADHD that can keep a calendar when they're not treated. No, that doesn't happen. But it felt good to get that diagnosis. But also brought up a lot of shit, right? So there. And Melissa brought home Chinese food. That's going to be good in a little bit.
Don, can I just comment on something that you talked about there?
Yeah, well, please do.
Talked about your childhood trauma, and it's one of the things that we actually like in my work, my former work, did a lot of work with adverse childhood events, ACEs, and there's a lot of information around like what do you do when you've had adverse childhood events like you're describing, and resilience and coping and that kind of thing, like having resilience in your life and your spirit, your mind, which you epitomize, I have to say. So those are helpful protective factors. But if you're interested, you can just Google ACEs and take a look at it. There's a really cool cartoon. I'm actually going to try to find it and I'll put it in the chat before I leave, because it really describes ACEs quite well, and it helps you to understand what that impact was. And this is why childhood experiences are so important, and that's what our program focused on, is helping women to have children and to prevent ACEs, you know, in those first couple of years. But it's all the rest of us that are dealing with what that impact was now. And so anyway, I'll do a quick search, but you know, even just knowing and addressing it is so
I found it. I found the site. I found the site.
Okay,
yeah.
cool. Yeah.
My mom once said that I got my resilience from her, in spite of. In spite of. I was teased in school. Yay, Catholic schools for anyone that's different. You know? Thank you, Catholic schools, for giving me and my 4 friends MS. In one class of 106.
Wow.
I mean, I'm not a statistical genius, but that's way outside the realm of a population of 106 before to get MS. And if Rick wants to do a test on that, I would give him so much information on where to go and who to talk to. So yeah, obviously ADHD mind is in full force. The medicine is in the house. So Jennifer, you look like you had something to ask.
No, I think it's interesting in a group of 8 of us that 3 of us are from Michigan.
Yeah.
And I always think, you know, that if they ever did like a population study or looked at obviously, you know, we've talked about it, the cold weather, it's just interesting. So when you were talking and then you talking about your classmates, I know you've mentioned in the past that there was such a know, 4 of you in a small school. It's
Yeah.
you.
Jennifer, 4 of you are from Michigan because Mike is also from Michigan.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry, Mike. I'm sorry
Yeah.
to forget that.
More,
And just
more
really
than
quickly, did you say that you are in Columbia right now,
I'm
Mike?
living in, yes.
Go ahead, Mike. You muted. Go ahead.
I'm living in Medellin, Colombia. I really like it here. There's an MS group. I'm not sure how big or what they do. I'm going to find out about that. Medellin's very young. The weather is the same every day is the same. Not cold, not warm. People are extremely helpful. So more to come about that. But go Lions.
Go Lions.
People from Michigan. All right, people from Michigan. I grew up swimming in the Saginaw River, and also the Tittabawassee River, which people from Michigan know that those are 2 of the most polluted rivers in the state because of a place called Dow Chemical. Which, of course, I did a project in grad school doing all the breast cancer survivors, or I'm sorry, patients along the Saginaw River, and it was just big spheres of pink all around. So yeah. So I'm not saying that was from MS, but I don't know.
You know, what's
My,
really interesting is that I have never lived further north than Washington, D.C., but my family is from Michigan.
Yeah, you come
Really?
up 8 mile.
And my dad grew up in Grand Rapids.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and they retired up there. Dad's gone now, but mom is still up in Pentwater, Michigan on the West Coast. Yeah,
West Coast is the best coast.
that's right.
I think I live like an hour and a half away from the coast because central Michigan.
Right. Yep.
my
Yep.
best friend from we were in school together from first grade to through seniors in high school, and she has MS. So I don't know. I've lost touch with most of people from my high school, but I don't know anyone else that has. But
Right.
surprisingly, the 2 of us have MS. So
And I think I've talked about my small hometown where, I mean, there's my mom, my sister, and I who are from this town. There's another 2 people that have primary progressive MS, and another 2 people that I just heard about that were diagnosed. I'm not sure what type. So, it's a small town of maybe maximum 1,500 people. That's a lot of people to have
Yeah.
MS.
That is.
Wow.
Yep.
And we actually, my husband and I actually talk about, well, my husband actually really thinks that it's probably when we grew up, there was mosquito sprayers, foggers that would drive around town, and honestly, we think it's probably exposure to DDT or whatever it was. Who knows?
That is a scent of childhood, isn't it?
Ugh.
Like if you live in the city and they spray for mosquitoes, that is a scent from childhood. It's not great, right?
Mm-hmm.
But
All right.
there was a
It is a step
question.
from childhood.
There was a question with my husband's uncles and dad, Parkinson's and stuff, and whether it was genetic or actually if it was because they grew up on a farm
Right.
and everything that they were exposed to. So
They do have studies that show that there's more MS incidents in northern climates than there are. The closer you are to the equator, the better, apparently.
Mm-hmm.
My young years were in Texas and Hawaii. And so that
There
doesn't
goes
make
that
sense to
theory.
me. Right. So, They don't know. They just don't.
No.
So,
I didn't have any symptoms until I was in Fairbanks, Alaska. And that was my first episode with MS, was when I was in. And you get like 3.5 hours of dank light in the winter there. So, but I had used sunscreen fadishly since I was 16 when I was in a car accident. And the doctor's like, if you tan the scar on your face, it will show up, a little permanently darken. So at 5:30 in the afternoon in northern Minnesota, I would put sunscreen on before I went outside. So I probably got 0 vitamin D since the age of 16 because I was terrified of well, I also burn very easily too because I have the super pasty white skin, but that probably
to this
did not
day, I
help.
cannot stand sunscreen. I never use it. Yeah.
And that's why when you see me in the water, I am completely covered up except my hands, my feet, my neck, and my face because I hate wearing sunscreen. So if I cover up
Yep.
most as I can, and that's why I do what I
Yep.
do because I don't want to slather on so much sunscreen.
Right.
Anyway, I am going to get going, you guys. It has been really nice to see you all. And by the
Carmen,
next time. Oh, yeah,
before
Marla?
you go, I got this email I want to share with everybody.
Oh,
It's a
okay.
link for January 10th to a Zoom meeting. It's about research update regarding restoring function.
Oh,
It's I don't know, my other group thinks it's a big deal. I'm having trouble sharing it.
Can you put it in the chat? The
Hold
link?
on, Marlo. We have to make you a presenter to share it, and then you'll be able to do it. So let me make you a presenter. Marlo, make presenter. Yes. And you should be able to now click share at the bottom and share your screen.
Can I share the entire email with the group?
If it's on your
And when you
screen,
click on share, it'll ask you what you want to share. So
Okay.
click on share and then choose the email.
All right.
is it working?
I've got it. I've got the email open. Do you guys see it?
No. You have
You
to
have to
click on
click
share
share
at the
at the bottom.
bottom. At the
Okay.
bottom of the screen, it says share.
Yeah, it doesn't highlight as an option. Let's see. Requires permission to capture your screen.
can you forward the email to someone who is
Oh,
presenting?
well, I made you a presenter, so you should have.
Hey, Jennifer, I was able to send it to you a few minutes ago. Are you able to share it?
Well, I'm about the least sophisticated computer person.
All right.
Okay, there it is. Okay, so it's that's fun. Okay.
Yeah, it says I got to change my computer. Carmen, I think I have your email address. Let me
Oh,
see.
okay.
I
Yeah, send
We
it to
talked
me.
about hand controls one time.
Hold on a
Yes.
minute. Hold on a minute. Oh, no, not Kim. Let me make Jennifer a presenter, but you're an organizer, but you may have to be a presenter. Okay, try now, Miss Jennifer.
Yeah, no.
I was able
No.
to send it to you, Carmen.
Okay.
There we go. That's wise, Marlo. Thank you for sending it. And I'm sorry I can't.
And I just have to go get my phone because I'm not signed into the right account. Oh my God, it's like a comedy of errors from
No,
everyone
it's
today
okay
here.
if you go now because I was able to send it to you. We can
Well,
figure it
Okay.
out
and
for the
it's
rest of
so
us.
interesting. I used Dan's computer for AnCan, and then Marlo sent it to my.
I'm just going to go double check. I'll be back.
So, Marlo, what's probably more important is if you can copy and post the link in the chat window.
Well, that because this Zoom meeting says feel free to share it. It's with anybody that's been diagnosed.
Right.
And I want to make sure everybody gets that.
Okay, so can you copy the link and post it in the chat window?
I mean, it's an email, or I'm not sure how to.
Can you copy the contents of the email and paste it into the chat?
Do you know how to copy a link?
No. Oh, you know what? Maybe I do. Let's see. The Zoom meeting link.
Whatever the link is for people to get information and join the meeting.
Okay.
Should be able to like triple click or something, right click and select all, something like that to copy and then
So
copy
this
everything.
is just a link, but it doesn't describe what it is, I don't think.
But that's okay because they will know. There you go.
But it
Somebody
doesn't describe when it is and what it is, and
maybe forward. Can you forward to Kim? Kim's easy. It's kim@ancan.org. Can you forward it to Kim and she'll take care of business?
all right, let me try that.
kim@ancan.org.
I gotta make sure I can get into that account
Oh, okay.
on my computer. Hold on, please hold.
It's such an easy address, Kim. It's only
No, that's
7
not the
letters
problem.
long.
It's just like it just likes to ask what password it is. I'm like,
Oh,
I don't see it in my email yet, Marlo. Sorry.
Oh my goodness. Let me see my sent.
C Wentland 1.
Marlo, I just sent you my email address too.
Well, duh. Why don't
We're quite the crew, hey?
we
you
have
know?
our
It's
masks.
New Year's.
I got
think the games
his
are
link.
on.
Okay, I got his link. Hold on. I got it. Okay, I see what you're saying. It's hard to show like okay, so it's Dr. Ben Emery. I don't know why that name sounds familiar. All right. Here's the guts. Oops, I sent it only to Andrea. Hold on, let me make this public just a second. That's your information for the Zoom.
And Andrea, I sent it to you, and Carmen, I also sent it to you, and I can send it to John.
It's a
Thank
seminar
you.
about repairing
Yeah.
myelin and restoring function. Research update regarding. Okay, no cost, free.
My favorite kind of events.
Well, that's the best thing about MS. It's free too.
It's expensive as heck to
I was
maintain though.
gonna
It
say
is the furthest
it's
thing from
free.
free that I have ever encountered in my life. Downright expensive.
You don't even have to apply.
Yeah, we'll take anybody. It's not an exclusive club.
That's right.
Thanks, Carmen. I just wanted you to hear that before you left.
Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I did get it now. Thank you, Jen.
No problem.
Okay, you guys, let's just plan on a better 2025, hey?
Absolutely.
Amen.
Happy New Year.
Yes. Bye, everyone.
Happy
Talk
New
to you next
Year.
year.
See you
Happy
next
New Year,
year.
Carmen.
Yep, you bet.
Take care. All right.
So was there anybody else that wanted some time before I take some time?
You can take your time. I'll go
No?
last. You can go. You can take your
You
time. I'll
sure?
go last.
There's something
Okay.
I wanted to say on what John had to say, who's munching on his Chinese food. So he'll have to stop munching if he wants to respond. But the relief of recognizing a diagnosis or having a diagnosis recognized is immense. And that is also something that's very familiar to MSs, because it's so difficult to diagnose MS. And we've heard in this group many times what a relief it is for somebody else to recognize that you've actually got a problem and it's MS and we can do something about it. And you know, John now has the relief and satisfaction of having other conditions recognized. And I think that just improves your life when you suddenly realize it's not you that's going crazy alone.
Right.
I don't know if any of you want to comment on that.
I'm still dealing with that to this day. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough not knowing. It's tough knowing. It's tougher not knowing. John must have noodles hanging out of his mouth. He's not coming back on to comment.
You're right. He's probably eating in another room, so he doesn't see it. So when he watches the if he watches the recording,
That's right.
he'll be jumping in and answering, and but that's okay. That's okay.
No, I don't like to watch the recordings because I end up, trying to talk to you guys, and I'm like, why won't you listen to? Oh, it's a recording. Yeah.
Yeah. Michelle, you had something you wanted to say on that.
Well, I know I don't want to lend myself to that conspiracy thing. I know a lot of people kind of look at that and go raise eyebrows. However, I guess the first thought comes to mind for me, at least in relationship to the last question, is that we like to beat our chests and claim to be great, 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 and all of this technology and all the stuff, the benefits that we have. Yet you have all these experts who, why did it take so long for them to come up with a definitive, hey, this is the problem? I mean, I guess for me it's kind of simple, and I'm a layman. Oh, the sheath that covers the little part of your cord, your spinal cord that goes to your CPU, your brain. Well, those things inside that cover that sheath is becoming unattainable. It's fading. We need to find a solution to that. Duh. And nobody's done that in all this time. I mean, I lived through my childhood of Lola Falana and the comic, and his name just ran away from me. But Richard Pryor dying of the results of MS. He was in a wheelchair. And so this is when I was a kid, and you tell me all this time we've not made what kind of progress to only say, well, we can give you a bionic leg. You can get a sheath, you can put that over there, you can help you. I mean, why do we have to get to a point of disability at this point in time? But we're the greatest country on the planet, right? So I look at those type of things. But then I look at the flip side. Well, I have some in my other camp who like I've had a long discussion a long time ago with an old friend who said, just, they have a cure for cancer commiserately. I said, well, I know that because here's the deal. Just I always have this conversation with people every day. They understand there's no meaning to our country except money. That's the only benefit. That's the only thing that America means is money, and that's what it lives for. That means it'll broker, it'll wager anything, any amount of collateral damage. It will wager to get money. It's kind of sick. It's a sickness. I mean, John mentioned earlier about the illness, the disease, some of the things that he had come into contact with, a Dow Chemical situation. But I wrote a paper about that in college about the Love Canal. What did it take? Why do we need to see Aaron Brockovich and PG&E? These are companies who generate lots of, tax revenue for our country. So of course they're not going to do the right thing versus for the people. Why would they do that? Make that make sense to yourself. So if they figure it's like it's worth it to them to have a little bit of collateral damage, that's what the risk management insurance companies are for. Oh, well, we wagered this amount of deaths. That's okay. No, it's not okay. It's somebody's loved one. It's somebody that was important to somebody on this earth. But we live in the greatest country on the planet, full of money, and that's all we live for until you're not here anymore.
The conspiracy, Michelle, is that we are worth a lot more money sick than we are healed.
Thank you, sister. Isn't that kind of common sense though? But Why do we have to have people dying for us to understand that? But why can't, what can we do about that? I wanted to do this when I lost my job. I said, you know what? They probably would have unended me. I want to get a people's lobby. I want to form a lobby group just for the people. And no, I would not have been like Black Lives Matter, taking all the money. I would have taken a very moderate income, but I wanted a people's lobby. Somebody to go to Congress and lobby for people, just people. That's all I wanted. Because we need somebody to lobby for us, because everybody else has got a lobbyist. The big businesses have a lobbyist. Why don't the people of this country have a lobbyist for us? And we're not doing no backdoor deals. Done. We're not doing that. We're gonna do it the right way, the way it's supposed to be done. But you know what? When you try to do the right thing, you think about the right thing, then the wrong things happen. You kind of have accidents. I mean, so here's the thing. Right now, I'm battling. I'm not going to battle with them because I understand on both sides. Try to look at both sides, try to not be an extremist one way or the other. So the VA has decided that we're not going to fund your glatiramer syringes anymore. So I guess I said to myself, okay, my doctor said, okay, they're not going to do that anymore. They don't want to. They said they had run out. I said that's a lie. They didn't run out. They just don't want to fund it anymore. So my thing is that why would they do that? Okay, if I'm the only person or one of few people who are saying I want to take the glatiramer acetate, the Copaxone, well, it's a syringe. It's almost $100,000 a year. They're looking at me as one of a few people because I want the doggone drugs, which I don't like, the doggone narcotics, which is designed to kill you. I want the one with the least amount of side effects. That's why I elected to take that. But my doctor, of course, how many other people do that? Everybody wants to go into the hospital and get immersion therapy. They want to get the immersion therapy. I had a friend of mine who has MS too. She had immersion therapy. She ended up in the hospital with one of the side effects, a heart attack. So let me go ahead and generate some more bills that I can't pay. Or that, okay, I'm sorry, VA, you pay it, but you caused it, so you darn sure should pay it because I'm taking some drug that's going to possibly give me a heart attack. Why would I do that? That's not common sense, but that's the world we live in. So now the drug that gave me the least amount of side effects, I don't have that as an option anymore. Unless I want to go try to buy it out of Canada, which, huh?
I'm really surprised by that. I'm pretty sure they have a generic version of Copaxone at this time. It should be less expensive.
Well, that's the glutamate acetate, but yeah, but they had decided they're going to run out. That's the one I was getting, the glutamate acetate, but they decided that, they said they ran out of it, but I said that doesn't sound right. Then I talked to somebody else who said they just don't have it. And it seemed like they're not interested in getting it. That's my point. I said, well, that's bullshit. That's BS.
I wonder if that's because it's considered a low efficacy drug.
I try to think of all those things. That could be it too. I mean, I try to think about all the potential reasons why they just suddenly decide, because I've been taking it for like the last couple of years. So this is a sudden thing. So I told my doctor, my neurologist, I just want to know, is me not taking any medication going to cause this thing to progress all of a sudden and get ramped up or what? I don't know, but I guess for me to just try to go back to my own process and stop eating processed foods, which I know that's probably something I shouldn't be doing anyway. No more processed food. But it's a lot of money and a lot of time to try to eat from basic, just go get some raw stuff and just eat that. I'm not going to go full walls, but maybe walls light or something like that. But that's what I did when I sent it into remission over 17 years ago. So maybe I should go back to that. I don't know. But I'm definitely going to be interested in this guy who can maybe give me back my life and maybe get myself mobile again. So I'll be trying to do everything I can because this is new to me. I had a diagnosis, but this whole immobilized nonsense is new to me. And fortunately, knock on wood, I'm still upright. I walk with a cane, albeit slow and steady wins the race. And not in a wheelchair. I'm not trying to do that because I'm for all intent and purposes a homeless veteran. I happen to stay with my BFF, but I don't want to stay in her house forever. I mean, her son told me, my godson said, she told him that if she was to leave first, to ensure that this house is taken care of, is made. I said, I'm gonna stay in this house. Like for instance, when I was listening to y'all, the house is on a hill from hell. It sits on top of like the crazy old lady with the house on the hill. She felt like, oh, if I get this house, it keeps people away from stealing. Robbers don't want to come up here because it's on a hill. I said, but it makes it difficult for me. I'm getting out of the car when I'm listening to y'all talking. I'm trying to get myself out of the car with a couple of packages to walk up on this hill that I have to balance myself and not roll down the damn hill. So it's one thing after another. It's like, God. And help is not really help because they give you a referral to give you another referral. Well, call this person. Like the person that handled the VA had a fair a couple of months ago for veterans allegedly, and it was a lady there who helped homeless vets. Well, what did she do? She didn't really have the help because here's the thing about the help. It comes with prerequisites. Because I live in what was always conservative Cobb County, but I've been here 30 years. I don't want to live in West Hell, Atlanta. Oh, she has plenty of referrals to go live in West Hell. But you know what? I'd be a moving target in West Hell. Yeah, I probably am here, but guess what? I can carry my bear mace in my hand. I can carry my tear gas and pepper spray in my pocket. I don't really worry as much as I would definitely worry if I was in Atlanta. I call it West Hell but that's all she had available. So why do you want to put veterans in West Hell? Why is it the only thing available to us but West Hell? Why can't there be people who are willing to help you, quote unquote, since you have so much help for veterans in Cobb County? Oh no, can't do that. We know why. We know why. So those are the kind of things that I'm wrestling with now. It's just kind of like it's a pain in every orifice that I have. But the only fail safe that I have in a sense is our family owns property in South Georgia. It's ours. We don't have to pay nobody for it. If I go down there, I get my VA loan and put my 3D house on my property, our family property, and pay the taxes. That's it, and that's it. And I have to deal with this and all of this. But then I take myself out of the social sector or social area that I have access to. It's still a burgeoning area. It's coming upon itself. My mom always likes to brag about it, but it's still not there. It's still like a little rural slash metropolitan kind of area coming. But I mean, I would be like her right now, where she has buried herself, going from where we were living and raised. She went from New York to like a little rural community, and she's about to lose her mind because she has no social circle. I said, well, that's what you did to yourself. Why would anybody with any rational mind do that? I mean, who does that? But you do what you can do. I don't want to put myself in that situation as yet because then I'll end up like her, probably losing my mind. But it's having to wrestle with things that I shouldn't have to be wrestling with. And then it's just so much. Like I feel like John sometimes, but I'm trying to do what I can because I don't want to say that word. They always ask me, well, every time you go in for an appointment, well, have you thought about hurting anyone or hurting yourself? I said, well, if I had thought about it, why would I tell you? Because that makes sense. But that's also the flip side of that too. Because I did a study one time. I looked it up for myself. We're such an industrialized nation. We're so industrialized. Everybody's so happy, happy, happy. Then why are we in the top 5 of industrialized nations of people committing suicide? That's a big thing in the VA, people committing suicide. Why do you think they do that in the best country on the planet? That's almost a conundrum, an oxymoron. The best country on the planet, but you have people dying to get the hell out of here? Really? Who does that? Is that rational behavior to you? It's so wonderful here, right? Why would anybody die to get out of here and take the extreme exit? Go figure. But you can't make sense to people who don't have it. So tell yourself that. Answer your own question, because that is a question to be answered. If we are so wonderful, why are people saying, the hell with this, I'm out, I'm done? So, um, yeah, I lost my best friend. I didn't lose her. I found out this recently that my best friend had passed like years ago. I I tried to reach out to her, then I decided to reach out to her one of her nieces that I knew when she was a baby, and we were born 1 year apart, by same month, 3 days apart. She was born on St. Patrick's Day. I was born on the 20th, and so that's how we bonded in high school. And it was hard to take, and so I spent 2 days crying. So,
Well, Michelle, I'm sorry to hear that about your friend. And
yeah, thank you.
going off what you were speaking about, I think our country has so much mental illness, and I don't mean that in a negative way, but
I
just so
know.
much undiagnosed. People are going through so much crap in their life. And exactly what you said, Michelle, if this is the best place on earth, why are people dying to get out of it? And I think they're just dying to get out of their own heads, to make
Yeah.
their lives make sense. And God forbid you have disease and you're not supported. I'm using you as like the
Yes.
big you. But you know, like you, Michelle, you're a veteran. You protected our country. We all should be so indebted to you, but we treat you like trash. You know, not you, but just veterans in
Yeah.
general. And I just
Uh,
think that you're preaching to the choir of people at AnCan where we're just thinking, yes, it should be better, and that's why this group is awesome, where we have a safe place to get this out and to speak about all the frustrations, and they snowball. We're talking about MS, and then
mm,
there's just so much more involved. So thank you
unfortunately.
for
Yeah, it's
talking.
okay. I call the veterans of our country. I said we're nothing more than a help. That's how we are treated. We're the effing help. So I take it for what it is. I call a spade a spade. We're the help. And that's how they treat us really.
And that's a
So
shame. That's not right.
I call it America. Sorry. That's all. So
Yeah.
that's that. That's my
If I
that's my diatribe.
Yeah. If I can piggyback off of that, like I absolutely agree with everything you talked about. And the only thing that I can think of to do with that is to to be an activist. And so I'm really glad Jennifer is here today because I wanted to share that. So I have been doing MS activist through the National MS Society. I've been an activist for years. And so what that really means is that we go to my state capital one day a year and descend on our state House and Senate. And this past year in March, when we did it, um, there was the woman who runs the more federal activist stuff that was there helping out. She doesn't usually help out at state stuff, but Raleigh needed it. So she was there and I met her and I was telling her how much more I wanted to do. I felt like going to the state capitol one day a year just wasn't enough. And so this year I was invited to go to Washington, D.C. with the National MS Society activists. So
Yay.
in March this year, I will be going into D.C. And Jennifer, I think you'll be there too, won't you?
Yes, we're going to meet in person, Andrea. This is amazing. Yay.
I'm so excited.
Yay.
Excellent. Yay.
Yeah.
Great. That's wonderful. Hopefully
Yeah.
we get an audience. Hopefully you have an audience there. Hopefully the audience. So that's
Well,
important.
Well,
hopefully.
one reason they really wanted me there is because of where I live.
Mhm.
My congressman is an MD and he's on a
Okay.
few uh, committees or whatever in Congress, and they really want to develop a relationship with him, but they don't have many activists from Eastern North Carolina. So
Mm.
they're excited to have somebody from my part of the state to go in and activist. But I also feel like he's just a MAGA Republican, and I don't think that I can get anything out of him. So I'm a
Well,
little like, go ahead, Jennifer.
I was going to say when you said that about a MAGA Republican, our legislator, and I'm not sure, John, Marlo, I know yours is not the same, but with you being on kind of the where you are in Michigan, our legislator that we meet with is uh he actually rode on Trump's airplane, and they're I don't want to say BFFs because that's disrespectful, but um I think I'm hopeful that maybe you and I we can brainstorm about how to talk to our legislators and make them, because John Molinar, John, I don't know if he's your legislator, good,
Yeah,
but
he is
he's
ours, and my family hates him.
but he's a big researcher, and so where we may disagree on certain things, he is at the core. He tries to fund research, and he's big with any sort of research. So maybe if you can find a link with your legislator, like a sweet spot where you can get along with him and develop some sort of relationship, that would be incredible. And I'm so excited to meet you in person.
You know, I am too.
Yay! That's good.
You're gonna do so many shots together.
Now, when you say shots to an MS person, that has a totally different,
We're like,
Totally different meaning.
we're totally good.
And so,
And the other thing that I'm really excited about is that on January 16th, I began taking a pottery class at the local community college. I'm so excited.
I'm taking one in February, Andrea.
What?
Yeah, my wife Melissa makes pottery, throws on the wheel, the whole thing. The local art place did not have the same beginner class. Was just she took it twice, and then they made a new class for her because she's advanced so far. But yeah, I'm excited to take pottery. I want to learn how to use the wheel, and when it goes wrong, because I know it will,
Yeah.
that's okay.
And I feel like I've been getting really weak in my hands and my forearms.
Yeah.
And I'm hoping that working with the clay will help to work those muscles in a way that doesn't feel like exercise.
Yeah, that's really smart. Hey.
And you have to slap one of the boxes of clay and say, "Man, you know how many pots I can get out of this one?"
And John,
One.
I don't want to be disgusting or be like, it's not disgusting, but I don't want to make you uncomfortable, and I'll be the one that'll blush. But when you and Melissa are doing pottery, just keep your ghost moment to yourself.
Oh,
that's right.
I'd have Unchained Melody queued up.
I love that. That's awesome. So, all right. I'm making notes. Andrea, Kim, I'm doing my best. Rick. So if no one can see. All right.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You were did everybody else hear that properly, or was she broken?
Oh, I probably broke up. I'm trying to keep track of what we're talking about. So if it looks like I'm not paying attention today, I am paying attention. I'm just typing.
You're doing a grand job there, Miss Jennifer.
Yes, you are.
Thank you, Rick.
You're doing a
That's
grand
it's
job.
perfect.
Jennifer.
For all of you, just before I know we're going to go to Michelle in a minute, but for all of you, just watch out because we've got a writing class starting very soon.
I've heard about that. I'm really excited.
Yes, so
I'm very interested.
The art class with Hannah has been so successful, and somebody I think it was in the Women Speaking Freely group, and hopefully all you ladies get notice of that group. Somebody in the Women Speaking Freely group suggested starting a writing class, and I think it's a fantastic idea. And so we hope to kick off in January, and then we'll tell everybody when we kick off. I don't know anything about it. I don't know. I mean, I know who's going to lead it, and she's a poet. She's an African-American lady, and she's a poet, and we love her. She's in our sarcoidosis group. And I don't know I don't know how she's going to run it. It's up to her. It's her group. So it's very exciting, and we're looking forward to it.
I'm sure it'll be wonderful. Yeah.
Do you know what time or day of the week it is?
Not yet.
Okay.
But if you have any preferences, let Alexa know.
My preference is it's happening when I'm available. That's my preference.
Well, you need to let her know when you're available because she doesn't know. So, please, if timing is important, send a message to Alexa, and we'll go from there. I mean, I don't even know. I don't know Regina's schedule, so I don't know. But please send in your input to Alexa at ancan.org. Send in your preferences, and we'll try and accommodate as many as we can.
Hey, Rick, did you say she's a poet?
Yes.
Does she know it?
Aha.
Knew you were gonna
She
say
does,
that.
because she's published books. Yes.
I'm not a dad, but I got dad jokes for days.
Oh, that's an awful dad joke. That's
Michelle,
a terrible.
I'm with you right there.
Okay.
Well, I'm definitely going to connect with her.
Okay.
I'm definitely going to connect with her. I definitely need her. She's, I mean, right now, yesterday, because I don't want to put too much on MS, and I shouldn't jump. I'm sorry. Put too much on that, but it really messes with you. I guess keeping myself straight to just get a sentence is, it's messing with me neurologically, I guess, because I can sit down, but how long I can sit down and write, but it's going to take a lot to finish what I started, but I need to finish it. I mean, I guess look at people dropping around me like they're dropping. I need to finish what I started on this earth. I really do. So,
Michelle.
So anyway, yes.
You got that. Or don't.
It's pretty ambitious. It's very ambitious, but I'll wait my turn. I'm sorry. It just
No, Michelle, you got like 65 years left. You got lots of time to write your stuff.
It's getting kind of old. I've seen a lot of what has come to pass. It's really it was very prescient once. Very. So that would.
Sorry, Rick.
Yeah, that would be it'd be the prologue, because they would go back. They could find and track when I really wrote it, and they could go if they could find instructive. He's not dead, but yeah, and then they could track it, so they would know that there was truth there. They could find a damn truth to the beginning, and they'd be like, oh my God, yeah, you did. Yeah, so yes. I don't have to exaggerate, but it's come and gone, a lot of stuff. So anyway, but it's a lot to drag. It's very ambitious. It basically is about an internal plot within the government to take it down. It's almost like, I'll put it to you like this. Y'all check out these movies, because there's oh my God, Civil War. In my story predicted of a second Civil War in America. I wrote about it. And then that movie's been out, but there's a movie that just came out called Homestead. And that one's the one I'm going to, wow. So other people out there were thinking the same thing. So it wasn't like just me. So I'm like, OMG. So you check out those two movies. My story is basically foreplay for those two movies, Civil War and Homestead. So yeah. So I got to finish it. So just pray I have the strength to do it. So I definitely want to talk to her, because any type of boost I can get would be needed. So
I mean, just any kind of writing is supposed to be really good. I mean, just bullet points in a journal on a regular basis.
Right.
It's supposed to be good for you, not just your memory, but just writing things down.
Anything. Well, I got papers everywhere. I'm a writer. I got papers all over the place. That's stupid. I don't have cohesion right now. I got plenty of papers, not journals per se, but I just got a bunch of pens I ordered from this thing called Ellington. Cheap pens, supposed to be like Cross or supposed to be like Waterman, but they sent a journal with me with the damn pens I ordered. But I got papers everywhere, because that's what unfortunately writers do. They just walk around with pieces of paper, but it needs to be put in some kind of cohesive order, not just chaos. Right now, I'm chaos all day with writing. It's just chaos. Write it over here, write it. It's like pieces of what? Make it make sense. That's all. Make it make sense. Oh.
I just had Chinese food, everyone.
Oh no.
Yeah, Melissa brought it home from the Chinese buffet.
Oh wow.
I'm not gonna lie, when I was gone, I was.
That's right. Rick was talking about you, and you weren't listening. You were out eating. So I made jokes about noodles.
I thought you were gone. Yeah, I thought he was gone. Yeah.
No, I was just enjoying some egg rolls and stuff. Sorry.
Oh, no, it's okay.
I'm not apologizing for eating lunch. Screw that.
And get that monosodium glutamate. Eat that monosodium glutamate, please. Don't watch that, John. I stopped eating that for a long time. I make mine natural now. I like it, but it's not the same, of course. I would love to get some same, but that monosodium glutamate, I get the damn cauliflower rice, and I make my rice with cauliflower, and I put me some Devane, shrimp in there, and I have my damn shrimp fried rice.
I mean, so the rally against MSG was based on racist commentary towards Chinese people in the.
Oh, what?
Oh yeah, that was really why MSG was like, no, dude, it's just salt.
I thought it was bad. I thought some FDA had weighed in on it too. I wasn't looking at just people railing in the street. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I don't eat
That's what Okay. Okay. Life in moderation. That's what I forgot, Michelle. Not one extreme, not the other extreme. Just gray. Find the gray in life. Okay, I got you. There we go. Okay, John. Enjoy. I may join you. Enjoy.
Only one shade of gray. We don't need multiple shades of gray.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Sorry, I read a book.
Light gray, dark gray, gray. We start listing off grays like Bubba and Forrest Gump.
Oh God!
What was the book? There was a book, Multiple Shades of Gray or something like that. It's all
yes.
50 Shades of Gray, like 50 Shades Further.
50 Shades of Gray. That's the one.
Oh yeah.
Not that I live with an English professor, but I'm familiar with that work.
Oh wow! I forgot. Yes, the English professor. Yes, so you should be.
So those books are based on fan fiction for Twilight.
I was just gonna say that, John.
Like, am I just blowing everyone's mind with crap?
Wow!
Imagine living in my head, guys.
No, keep blowing it. Let me give you this one. I like this one. Maslow's hierarchy of needs. Talk about that one, John. Yeah.
So this is how I take my hierarchy of needs. Am I comfortable? Do I need the bathroom? Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I safe? If I make it through all of those with like okays, I'm good. That's my hierarchy. That's what I need.
All right. Okay.
It's the bottom level.
What's that, Andrea?
That's just the bottom level.
Oh wow. Oh God. Wow.
Maybe after all your meetings with your new psychologist, you'll get up beyond the base level.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I already feel better from just like going to that meeting. Like, wow, it's got a label on it. Because remember when we were all feeling bad before we were diagnosed with MS? You know, like I kind of feel like that with the new medicine, but like hope rather than like maintaining or slowing down the lessening. How about we just do this? Get me in this gray area.
How often are you going to be able to see him, John?
I sent a message to his office like before coming here, and they haven't responded yet. But I do see him like in 2 weeks, just a virtual meeting, and I will ask him then if he's like, are you having new clients? I would like to be your client. My therapist has been great, but I think that we've grown to know everything so much that I need a different face, you know. And also this guy, he's like Jim. Just call me Jim. Cool. I don't remember his name. It's just Jim. He was so new out of school that his diplomas weren't on the wall yet. And we know all doctors put the diplomas on the wall, right? I even brought that up. He's like, well, I just moved up from Kalamazoo, so everything's still packed. Like, yeah, well, when did you get your, doctorate from Western? Over the summertime. Like, good for you, buddy.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, like
scratch on all the latest, stuff. Then
he was such a good guy, though. Like, super, like, would bring me back. Like, so John, you were talking about this. Like, oh yeah, I was. Oh, did you see the new Batman Lego? John, what were we saying about? Yeah. So I took my first medicine. We're gonna see how this feels.
What medication did he prescribe you, if you don't mind asking?
Atomoxetine. It's an S name. I'll find out for you right now. But yeah, it's like a lower dose. It's 25 milligrams. So we're just starting again to see like how I feel in a couple of weeks, and we'll go from there. Isn't starting new medicines fun, everyone?
No, when they put me on new mental therapy drugs, it
Oh,
always
it's the
takes
generic
6
for
to 8 weeks.
Strattera. Okay,
Yeah,
okay.
it's Strattera.
Strattera, yeah.
Strattera.
Okay.
So we'll see how this goes, friends.
Fingers crossed, John. Fingers crossed.
Who knows? Maybe I'll go crazy and dye my hair a different color.
Green? Blue?
I've had green, blue, black. I had Superman
All
ice
of the
cream.
above?
What's that?
All of the above?
I've had check marks.
Green, blue, and black?
What happened to Gray?
I'm slowly
Yeah,
getting
what happened to Gray, John? Stay away from the dyes. We already know about that. Pun intended.
man.
Stay away from the dyes.
Nope.
Stay away from the dyes. No FD4, no 40 blue, none of that. See, that's another problem.
Man,
Surrounded by it. You
my
can't.
body that I used to dye my hair all
Yeah.
the time when I was a teacher, when I was a high school teacher.
Okay. Good.
Whoever did the best that month got to pick my hair color for the next month.
The whole point of the gray, we got to remember, was nothing's black, nothing's white.
Yeah.
Nothing's absolute. Everything's in
Yeah.
the middle. Everything's
In the middle.
gray. It's okay. Different opinions, all are correct.
Happy medium. Happy medium. I keep it simple. I talk to my cat. Okay.
I talk to my tortoise all the time.
Your turtle?
The answer?
Yeah.
Cool.
Say answer, that's a different kind of doctor you need to see.
Oh, listen, my cousin told me that. He said, "Don't you go around telling nobody that." I said, "Why?" We have spirited conversations. It's very nice. She's very calm, and I love her. She's my child, like a proxy, for the one I didn't have. But she just came and sat right next to me in the chair in the kitchen. She said she heard me talking about her. She jumped up in the chair and said, "Okay, mommy." I'm rubbing her. I know, mommy's okay.
When I went
okay.
When I went to grad school, Melissa said you need something in your apartment to welcome you when you get home. So I lived on.
Is that a turtle?
No, I had a fish. I had a beta fish for 4 years. But yeah, Taurus would not be good. She got so big in 2 years. But yeah, I just had a nice little fish tank and come home and be like, "Oh, hi there, Obi-Wan Kenobi." Fish puns are the best puns.
They are.
You can tune a piano, but can you tune a fish?
God. Oh God.
I don't remember taking my
Gotta
medicine.
start working on those kids, John. These dad jokes they need an outlet.
Yeah, they do.
That's why I'm here. Or did you just tell me to have a child?
Oh yeah, multiple.
I've got multiple sclerosis. I don't want any more multiple anything. Multiple dogs, multiple fish.
All you have to do is get them old enough and they'll start doing your chores for you.
Banana, can you empty the dishwasher? She's good at sit, she's good at stay.
Yeah.
Also, I put in the chat, watch Crip Camp on Netflix if you haven't already seen it. It'll make you laugh because it's all really too real. And it is the basis of the ADA. So the people that went to the camp marched on Washington, or they say in the movie well, we rolled on Washington, and that's how they got the ADA started and completed. So it's a really big part of all of our lives now that we didn't even think about what it was like when that wasn't a thing. Because I'm not old enough.
It's an amazing movie. I've seen it. It's really good.
Yeah. It's
wow.
Really
I can't believe I missed that. I normally watch every documentary that come out. I missed it. Wow.
Yeah, and Michelle, it was produced by the Obamas.
Really?
As part of their charity
Wow.
work, they always wanted to raise awareness for people with disabilities.
Wow. Didn't
Yeah.
know that. See, I've been checking out so long. I need to get back on engaged. I've been kind of out to the
Well, we all
pasture
know
somewhere.
about Michelle's dad, right?
What was that, Marlo?
We all know about
Mr. Robinson?
Michelle's dad.
Oh no, I didn't know the story. I see.
Oh yeah,
That's messed up.
that was one of her
That's
stories
messed
she
up.
told during the campaign. That her dad always went to work on crutches and worked at the I think water department or something. So she
I
knows
heard.
him.
Okay, I heard the water department aspect. I didn't go deep. Okay, wow. All right.
It used to be
All right.
available on YouTube for free. I'm not sure if it still is.
It still is.
You
It's
don't
something
have
that,
Netflix.
yeah, the Obamas said they wanted it to be available for everyone
Okay.
because there's nothing worse than a paywall for stuff that we want to look into.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
Okay.
the Amazon guy just dropped something off at my door.
The other movie I really love doesn't really have anything to do with multiple sclerosis, but has anybody seen Peanut Butter Falcon?
No, I haven't. Wow.
It takes
Wow.
place right here on the Outer Banks.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Peanut Butter Falcon. I highly
Peanut Butter
recommend
Falcon.
it. It's really, really good.
Okay. All right. I'm a documentary nut, so I should have already seen these. I mean, I've seen all the other ones, man. But wow. Okay.
Michelle, take
I will
tissues with
get on.
you.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
yeah. Unless you're the most heartless person I've ever met, you're going to weep. I guarantee it.
John, I almost wrecked my car trying to avoid hitting squirrels. I'm not heartless at all. And I'm the champion of
No.
the little guy in the
No.
innocent. So no.
I 100%.
Yeah, I know you. I know. I'm just saying that. Yeah, I probably will be bawling then.
There's one scene in that movie that's really tough to watch.
Oh God, no.
It's
But
an
there's
important
one-
scene to watch, but it's a tough scene to watch.
Okay. You just prepare.
but
You
there
prepare
also
me.
is-
Okay.
There's really funny things to really
Yeah, there's
balance.
lots. There's a lot of fun things and stuff like that. But there is a scene that will. It's tough to watch.
I wish.
I guess the scene. It's not like
not
one of those scenes
violent.
that.
It's not violent or anything like that.
Well,
It's
well,
just. It's
Well,
just.
that's good.
It's just what
It
happens.
sounds like a scene. It's like a scene that might you get either upset or you get angry. I guess I watch those kind of things where you either
You'll
get
be
very
both in
emotional or
that.
you get.
You'll be
Yeah.
both in
Okay.
that scene. You'll be
But
both in
Okay.
that scene.
All I'm going to say is the bus driver. It was the bus driver. When you watch it, you'll understand.
Okay. I will put that on. I'll do that today then. For my stress magnet comes back. My buddy's coming back in the morning. So
Okay.
no, here comes stress. So I need to watch it tonight so I can be left alone. All right. Wow.
I'm going to complete the survey again.
They want it again? They want another one?
No, Rick's just reminding you if you haven't done the survey to please fill it out.
Oh yeah, I did it the first time he said it's first or second time he said I did it when I got it done.
Yeah.
All right. Does anybody have anything else they want to discuss today?
Happy New Year, everyone.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, everyone. I hope you
And-
have big plans for
Happy New
tonight.
Year.
And go Lions.
Yes, go Lions.
Oh, that's right. I got Michiganite. Michigan's on here, right? I got my bestie, my house person is a Lions fan. So yes, we recorded the game. Yes, all of you Michiganites.
I think this year I'm just gonna say it. If you don't say it, you can't claim it. This year I'm gonna try and meet as many of you in person as I can.
Jennifer,
Oh,
why have we
okay,
not?
man.
What the shit?
Bye, Rick. I'm sorry, what was
Hello.
that, John?
I said, why haven't we met, Jennifer? Like, we live an hour apart. Want to meet up at, like, the Remus Tavern or something?
Let's do it. Yes. Yes. And Marlo, I know that we can make this happen.
I'm
Give
in.
us that Mike. I don't know if I'm ever going to meet you in person. And Michelle, if someday, if our paths cross, I would love to meet you in person.
And same here.
I
Same
think
here. Thank
it's awesome. So,
I'm just gonna blow kisses.
uh, yeah.
All right, I'll
Yeah.
see everyone in a couple of weeks or whenever. All
All
right.
right.
Do you
See
know
you
when
next
Okay.
our
year, everyone.
when's our next meeting?
14th
sorry?
in 2 weeks.
14.
I won't be able to.
8:30 Eastern.
There are
It,
evening meetings from January
mm,
through April. I won't be able to attend, and if I do, it won't be till late because starting this month is when we learn the tap routine for for our recital at the beginning of May. So I need to attend all the tap classes so I don't feel lost, so I could be okay on this dance tap. I haven't done a dance recital in 27 years. So someone else will be needs to be moderating the evening ones. I'll be here in the afternoon ones, but and I might be able to show up later after my class. We'll see how it is, but just give you a heads up. Like, where's Kim? It's like she's tapping right now, getting ready for this tap dance recital beginning of May. So then I'll be back on
I could
after
be there to
once
see it.
the recital is over the beginning of May. Then I'll be back on the evenings. But so. But yeah, I hope you
Excellent.
guys
I
have a
love it.
wonderful new year, and I hope everything goes well. No crazy, insane weather.
yes. Hopefully not.
Absolutely.
God.
I should find out on Thursday whether the Aetna and the major medical network and my thing have come to an agreement, or if I have to go shopping for a new neurologist, a new primary care physician. We'll find that out later this week. So
Good luck.
thanks. It was kind of sad
Okay.
because when I called the neurology office, they're like, "Yeah, since you get your infusion at the hospital, you can't get your infusion there anymore either if it doesn't go through." I'm just like,
Wow.
oh.
Oh my
Going from a
gosh.
neurologist that's 12 minutes away to like probably like I have to go to probably Iowa City or Omaha if I want an MS specialist. So that would be like 2 to 2.5 hours, 2 hours. So we'll see what happens.
Well, maybe you can get a nurse to come to your house. I have a nurse to come here to my house to give me my Ocrevus infusions.
There's another place I can go in town, depending on the insurance, but I'm just saying I don't know if I have to go through a different doctor to get it ordered and things like that and get it because when you set up an infusion, it's not a quick thing. It takes a while to
Mm.
get set up, usually like a month or so. So I have some time.
Oh.
Mine's not until the middle of March, so we'll see.
Well, I hope everybody stays okay. I may have to deal with, as we all know, what's coming, the pending God knows what's coming, that my benefits don't get cut because I'm a sucker and a loser. So,
I think we all feel
that's
that way, Michelle, with the benefits getting cut. Not that you're a
really,
sucker or a loser. Not that part I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the part of everyone's fearful about benefits and everything getting cut.
oh, so everybody's, oh, yeah, okay. That's messed up.
It's just not you. I think we all feel like we're in that
Not the,
same
that's a
boat.
target. That's going to be targeted. I can't, wow. Okay. Well, then pray for all of us.
Yeah. And
This is ridiculous.
Yeah, I feel like something has to change because it's so dysfunctional right now.
It's
The
disgusting. It's
the
just,
medical system is so dysfunctional right now. So, and it's, I mean, it's kind of surreal to think that a person goes to school for years to become a doctor and then they can't tell you what they've learned because someone else dictates your care.
because it's gonna take money out of somebody else's pocket. They
It's
won't be able to go get that. They can't get that new Maybach. Hey, you can't do that. So, man,
And
Our,
I know,
the
like in the
current
pharmacy,
medical system in the United States is downright inhumane. Just
it's very,
downright
it's
inhumane.
incredibly flawed and it's messed up. Like even Walgreens, who's been around for over 100 years, is shutting down stores because they're not making profits because they're not getting the reimbursement rates to fill prescriptions. So I'm afraid there's going to be a lot of, like we have a lot of food deserts in the country. I'm afraid there's
Mm,
going to be a lot of
mm.
pharmacy deserts, even more. Even though like even in rural places, there's lots of like hospital deserts, or you have to go really far away to like have a baby and things like that. I think it's going to get
Right. What about
worse.
Mark Cuban? I've heard about him. I haven't looked at his pharmacy, but apparently, I mean,
Yes.
I'm a proponent of Mark Cuban. I like him. He's a civilized human being. That's
If
all.
you go
Basic
to
line:
his,
be civilized.
so if you go to his website and you can
Hmm.
just Google Mark Cuban Pharmacy, I can't think of the name of the pharmacy off the top of my head, but if you
Hmm.
Google Mark Cuban Pharmacy, you'll find it right away.
Right.
And then he
Right.
will have listed, like you can go to different disease states, like multiple sclerosis, and then
Hmm.
it'll show what medications because they have a very limited amount of things that they carry. They don't carry all the
Right.
drugs like your local pharmacy does. And so,
Right.
but I had to, with one of my MS friends here, I had to train through her, we trained my neurology office here to use it because she was getting, okay, is it Ampura? She was getting the generic compounded because she could not afford the prices and it was cheaper to get it compounded, and then it was cheaper online through Mark Cuban. And so I had to get, through her, I had to get them geared up like, oh, I don't know how to do it. And it's like, look, this is how you do it. This is their number, their number to do it electronic, and you have to put the patient's email in the prescription because that's how they hook you up to
Hmm.
sufficient
It's
benefit.
called Cost Plus.
Thank you, Marlos. Cost
Cost
plus.
plus.
Yes,
Cost
it's a
plus.
very,
Okay.
it's such a generic pharmacy name you can never remember it.
And part of what he's doing is he's doing this to expose what they're really paying for drugs.
Right,
So
right.
Hmm.
I can tell you about the Tecfidera, and I know people that have stopped taking Tecfidera because their insurance stopped paying for it. When
Mm.
like every year we switch at my employer, and when I have Blue Cross, they say we pay $9,000 a month for your Tecfidera, and your copay is $20. And when I have
Mm.
Priority Health, they say we pay 6,000 some dollars a month for your Tecfidera, and your copay is $20. When you go to Cost Plus without insurance, it's between $30 and $50.
Wow.
They're
Oh my
telling us that they're paying all this money when
Okay,
they're
so
not.
Blackstone's on here, but it's probably more, it's still expensive.
They
Right.
with
But
Cost Plus, the way it
yeah.
works is they tell you the cost of the drug, plus the cost of what they have to pay the pharmacy, plus the cost of
Hmm.
what they have to pay for shipping, plus their profit margin, and then it's $30 to $50 with all that rolled in.
They're transparent. Then they're transparent as opposed to the other
Exactly.
ones we know.
So if you look
Yeah,
at the
and
bottom and you look up your drug, it'll list each of those items.
Cost plus. Okay. Cost.
They don't have everything, but he's
Right.
really
Right.
started this just to expose the honest cost plus. This is what they're paying, and they're probably
Hmm.
I
paying a
think
little bit
that's,
less than cost plus.
Hmm.
yeah. And I think that's one of the things we're going to be activists about in DC is the pharmaceutical benefit managers, the middlemen that jack up
Hmm.
the prices of all the drugs.
Yeah.
There's
For
a
their cut.
reason
For
why
their
it
cut.
costs more in America.
yeah, because the pharmacy gets stuck in between the cost from the manufacturer and the reimbursement cost. So I was really shocked that there were prescriptions that we would fill and we didn't make any money. We paid money to fill it, which really shocked me. Like
Mm.
all that work, all that talent, all the supplies, we made nothing. We lost money. Yeah, you lost money.
Hmm.
And that's why I haven't been in pharmacy for a long time, but I think that's one of the reasons why certain pharmacies refuse to carry certain drugs. Like I think one of them is like is it Ozempic or something, because their reimbursement
Mm.
rates are so bad that they were just losing just losing a ton of money. Yeah, especially when you're dealing with drugs that are thousands of dollars. I laughed one day when I was talking to my insurance company because I was on Gilenya, which is a pill, and I refilled it, and it wouldn't go through. And I'm like, why wouldn't it go through? So you call and you talk to the generic person at the insurance company, and they're like, oh, it needs a prior authorization. I'm like, no, it doesn't. It's already been approved and it's been approved. Well, just just pay cash for a few of them at the pharmacy, and then, just get you through. And I said, I can't because A, the local pharmacy doesn't carry it, and B, if they do, no pharmacist is going to break the bottle because each in the pills are like $300 a piece. So no, that's not going to work for me. But because he's on this generic script, and it's like, I don't think you understand this drug. And that was the same thing when they tried to set me up for my infusion for Ocrevus before they could shorten up the duration of the infusion. They're like, oh, what time do you want to do that? Well, I'm like, well, if the people want to go home on time, we need to do this early in the morning because it's all day infusion. Not a clue. Not a clue. Like, if you want to do it at 1 o'clock, but you get really upset at the people that work.
Wow.
Yeah, you always have to be an advocate, and but yeah, it's freaking. And then when I've gone to like the third world countries in the Caribbean, because I'm just curious, and I go into the pharmacy and see what you can buy and can't buy and what the prices are, it blows your mind. And then to see how much prices have skyrocketed on certain things over the years is insane. And it's not sustainable. Nothing's sustainable. And then you don't have like the good work, it's everything. So in the pharmacy, when the economy crapped out in 07, 08, they went bare bones skeleton crews, and then they never went back. And so they were always short staffed, and then they started adding more responsibilities like immunizations and things like that. And now pharmacists at Walgreens, they don't even have another pharmacist there. It's just one pharmacist. So you have no one to take over any of your workload. You're doing everything and what your techs can do legally, but a lot of times you might not even have a tech. It's just you answering the phones and filling prescriptions and answering all the questions and trying to do your job. And when you're like when I worked in pharmacy in retail, you literally got interrupted about every 10 to 15 seconds because I had to go counsel on a prescription and things like that. And it's really hard that's not a job where, and that's why I left because of my cognition issues and fatigue issues. It's not a job where if you make a mistake, it's not like, oops, I gave you the wrong burger. It's like, oops, I could kill you. And it's very scary. Someone can very easily die. So you really take it seriously. And if you have a question on something, you need to take the time out to call the doctor's office and get clarification, because the electronic prescriptions were supposed to prevent all these errors because doctors' handwriting was so bad and all the abbreviations. But what happened is your electronic prescriptions are only as good as the person who's using it. A lot of times it's not even the doctor that's writing them, it's like an assistant knows how to use the software. So there was lots of problems with those because they send over these weird things, or they pick up this random osmotic metformin that no one uses, or they would pick and then the directions wouldn't match, and they're like, I want this amount, like 1,000 of this. I'm like, what are you? And yeah, it was really I don't know if they've gotten any better on that, but anyway, we
I stopped using metformin. I stopped using metformin because I read that it started causing cancer. Like most of them probably do, but the particular one they were using, this generic brand, was causing cancer, metformin. I said, okay, no more of that. So
it was interesting, Michelle, when I was talking to my neurologist at Mayo Clinic, we were talking about stuff like that, and he's like, you grew up in the 80s, you've probably been exposed to more chemicals in the 80s than you know.
Yeah.
So he kind of looked at me like, you can modulate things so you don't go crazy. You can be
right.
Respond, because if you look at everything, everything has. I mean, the amount of chemicals that have been created in the last 100, 150 years is insane, and we don't know.
Right. It's been more.
Yeah. It's
been more. It's been increased.
Yeah, it's been insane. We don't know. And then a lot of things, you're like, oh, it's natural, so it must be it must be safe. It's like, I don't think so. There's some of the most toxic things in the world are very natural, and
Now
and
PFAS, now PFAS and
Just the
everything.
microplastics alone are bad enough.
yeah. So
Oh
you have
yeah,
to
yeah.
modulate everything, but
I want everybody to understand that when the cure comes, it's going to have side effects.
Oh, that you. Oh, okay. You're
That's
John too,
okay.
a funny guy. Okay, funny
But it's
man.
okay, 'cause the side
well,
effect is going to be less than the
you really touched on a very good point that I always said in
absolutely.
pharmacy. People are like, is there any side effects? And I look at them, I go, everything has side
Always.
effects. You just have to weigh
Mhm.
the benefit. Is this medication
Right,
risk and what it's doing, the effects, does that outweigh the side effects or potential negative effects?
exactly. Right,
So
right. You're right.
Gilenya worked great for me, except I had urinary tract infections like they were going out of style. And I'd
Oh
get
God,
sinus,
no.
I had
Mm-mm.
like pneumonia, I got the flu, like I was really prone to infection on Gilenya. But my symptoms for MS were fantastic on it, you know.
Oh well, great. That's all
It was
right. No, that
great,
sounds
but
wonderful.
I had these
Jesus.
side effects. So, but when I lost vision in my eye temporary, it's like, okay, we probably need to
Oh
switch.
yeah,
But
no, no,
then,
yeah, no.
but at the time, I like those side effects were better for me than what was the one, the Rebif, the injectable that made me have flu-like symptoms for multiple days after an injection. And they're like, oh, it should only last 6 months. It did not last six. It lasts way past 6 months. I'm like,
See,
I
yeah.
can't be chewing naproxen and Tylenol like it's going out of style every day and having that because the temperature, like everything, I just felt sick. I said, I can't do it. So compared
Mm-mm.
to that drug, I'm like, I can handle the
Mm.
Gilenya side effects, but then time went on and there's been lots of new drugs that come out. I'm like, okay, well, Ocrevus, I have to sit there, and it's expensive, but it's paid for insurance at the moment. But at the same, I don't really notice any other crazy side effects from that. I haven't had more prone to infection. I don't feel like I flu-like symptoms, things like that. I just have more symptoms from the high level of steroid I get with it.
Mm.
But you have to, but everything you do is a balance. Like, am I gonna willing to tolerate this or not? That's just everything.
True.
I don't know of any drug that you can take when it's like, oh yeah, there's no side effect. Like it's, very rarely where you will have some sort of a side effect.
Well, that's what a
Um,
friend of mine reminded me for a long time. She said, "Well, our parents gave us all kind of stuff growing up. Did we die? I mean, that's okay. We had stuff given to us all before we knew what to not take or whatever. Did we die? We still here, right?" I said, "Okay, just calm yourself. Just trying to talk to me like you're just telling me to calm down because I'm like, oh, this stuff like you just said about the side effects. But because now we know better, we supposed to like, oh no, we can't take that. Oh, don't do this and don't do that. But you took it for how long? But now, like you said, there's more stuff. Like now you kind of find out there's PFAS, that drug that's been killing people that talked about that now you could only find it in like certain things in like cans and stuff. PFAS. It's coming through the tap water at your kitchen. I said, but I don't drink tap water. Well, it's PFAS is causing cancer across the globe. But now it's in everything. Oh, they put it in the clothes that they make for firefighters' uniforms. It's like it's in your Teflon. They're like, what is the Teflon stuff? I said, what do you think that is? It's a chemical that makes that Teflon. I'll take an old cast iron. I don't care. I don't deal with Teflon anymore. But how long did I deal with Teflon before? I knew better. Don't do Teflon.
but the downside
So
of cast iron, it's so heavy. So when you're dealing with
yes.
fatigue and weakness, I would love, Michelle, to use cast iron. I would figure out
Mm,
a way to clean it and then stuck it in the oven so it dries so it doesn't rust. But what keeps me from
uh-huh.
using cast iron is the physical
Right.
weight.
Wait.
It's
Yeah.
so heavy that I'm almost afraid of
See?
dropping it or not being able to use it. So I don't use cast
Right.
iron because that
Right.
negative
Right.
outweighs it. But I would love to if cast iron was lightweight and was like an
Mm-hmm.
aluminum pan. Amazing. You got my money. Like I'll buy that. But yeah, it's frustrating. Like you just don't. Most things isn't like a win-win the whole way, except maybe
And
not be drinking just water, just plain water. Just healthy
And
for
do we think that that's an
water to
accident?
survive.
Is that an accident that it is that way? That we don't have those options? Do you think it's really an accident, or is there something else going on? I mean, the Sacker family, I believe, was just sued. That damn big pharmaceutical family was eventually sued by the government for the stuff that they were doing because they knew what they were doing. The Sacker family, they got
Well,
sued.
I have got to go.
bye,
I'm
Jennifer.
sorry.
Okay,
Just want to wish you
I'm
all a
sorry.
happy New Year. I'll see you, but I'm
Yes,
gonna
Miss Jennifer.
sign myself out. Have a happy New Year.
You do the same,
You
ma'am.
too,
Thank you so much.
Jennifer.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. Take care.
I feel like it goes just back and forth, Michelle, of like how you make a profit. And I don't know if you remember, and I'm probably butchering this story, but remember when Ralph Nader ran in
Mm-hmm.
2000?
2000. He upset. Yeah, he caused a lot of things. Yeah,
But
we were pissed at
do
him
you
for a while.
remember why he became well known?
Something to do with
Cigarette.
drugs. Probably
No,
not the whole
no,
thing.
it had to do with, and Marlo, probably you know better because you live in Michigan.
Yeah, it's
Wasn't
the
there a
cars.
vehicle? There was a Ford,
The
what was it?
Pinto.
Pinto,
Mm.
where
Ah.
if you hit it, it would would it explode?
Yeah, the gas tank was exposed to a rear end.
Right. And so they
Mm.
knew about this, and at the time, they made the decision that it was better to just leave it as is because it's going to be way expensive to change it and take it offline
But it
than to just
costs
Mm-hmm.
pay
less.
the lawsuits.
It
To
costs
pay.
less to pay the significant lawsuit than to fix it.
Exactly. So
Mm-hmm.
I think that's an answer to a lot of your
But
questions.
that's still happening today with other items. Like
Well,
there's right now an
everything.
ignition issue with GM,
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
won't fix it.
Yeah, do I fix this because it's going to bankrupt my company or I'm not going to have a profit, or do I just
And it's
do
not
it?
even bankrupt. It's going to cost us X amount of $1 million. So it's, let's say 10. It's going to cost us $10 million to fix it, but to pay the lawsuits for the people dying are only going to cost us $3 million. So we'll just pay for the dead people, and we'll save $7 million. Whatever those.
Right. Risk management insurance. It's called risk management insurance. Yeah, yeah, there you go. Pay that. Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, there's just a lot of, and then a lot of things are like, okay, well, BPA is bad, so we're going to remove that from the plastics, but what they're replacing, is it better, worse, or the same? We don't, with time we might know, but you just don't. You remember when margarine used to be healthy? I mean, come on, let's be real here. When butter was
Oh yeah.
bad and
Right?
margarine,
It's supposed to make our food and our drugs safe and healthy, right? But let me ask you
Mm-hmm.
something. Like when it comes to marketing things, right? Like everybody, oh, it's going to be so much healthier if you're a vegetarian. Oh, you like
Mm.
meat. Let's take
Mm-hmm.
these vegetables, add a whole bunch of chemicals and God knows what else to them, make them
Mm-hmm. Yep.
feel and taste like meat so that you can be a vegetarian and still have meat. But tell me how safe those Impossible Burgers really are.
Mm-hmm. Well, it has soy in it, so I don't touch it. I've never touched them. I've never touched the Impossible because I don't do the soy, but I know it's
if
probably other stuff too.
if you're up to the work and the prep time, like you were talking about, Michelle, I kind of like what Michael Pollan said, like, don't eat anything your great, 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 great grandparents wouldn't recognize. We
Oh
have a lot of
God.
stuff that's
Right.
food-like stuff, but not actually food. But yeah, so
Right. Well, you know who also said that one time. I'm sorry, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's a lot of good people working really hard to fix some of this, the disease. There's a lot of people that want to be the one that figure out the answer. It's just true,
yeah.
and it's just
And,
complicated.
and you have to understand too, the reason why we've gotten to where we are in our food is people, to be able to have longer shelf lives. And I mean, that's where it kind of started. Like before, refrigeration and freezing helps to a certain extent, but you had to salt your food to preserve it back in the day. That was the only way to
Mm-hmm.
really preserve it. And now we have all these preservatives, so we have, a lot of people don't want to go out. An American, a lot of times we don't go to the store multiple times a week. It's like maybe you can go
Exactly.
1 week or 2 week. And so how do we keep that food going on? And that's compared to other countries is really crazy for them because a lot of them
Mm-hmm.
have these really, like if you go to Europe, their fridges and freezers
A
aren't
small,
as big
right.
as ours, right? Because they're not
Mm-hmm.
doing a massive Costco run, they're not doing
No,
that.
they
And
pretty much cook
They
every
also
day.
don't
They
work
kind of cook
40
every day.
hours. they also don't work 40-hour work weeks either. They have more time to prepare food and spend time with their families and stuff like that. But there are chemicals in our food that are outlawed in Europe.
Oh, a lot.
Exactly. That's all you need to know. That tells you everything right there.
If you go to England or the UK, GMOs are completely there are no GMOs. Like that's not
Mm-hmm.
a you just don't have to worry about them because they don't exist. And that was a really interesting thing in my biochemistry class. And this is like late 90s, early 2000. They had this thing where they had this, it was just when they started really modifying corn and crops and stuff. And they had this ash borer. It was a thing that you could put into the corn so the ash borer would not attack it. And I'm probably totally butchering the name of the creature. I know it was corn.
It's a worm. It's all you got to say to me. It's a worm. That's all I know. It's a
Okay,
worm.
okay. Anyway, the question was, is this a good thing? And you're thinking, well, yes, it's a good thing because you can have a higher production, you're not losing, spoiling, stuff. But the one thing that happened that was really interesting is there was a huge backlash with a bunch of third world countries. They did not want genetically modified food out of the United States, which
Mm-hmm.
was not something that my brain even remotely had on the radar that would be an issue, and didn't even think about, was this going to be? And so anyway, life is interesting how we've gotten to where we've been, where we've gotten in, you know, 200 years of the over 200 years of the country, and how things have changed. And I think we still have a lot of work to do to get it to be what's best for the people and for health. And maybe we don't need as many luxuries as long as we have, a safer and healthier environment. But one generation's luxury is the next generation's necessity. So
Just go look at those landfills that they show. I saw a documentary, a piece of something the other night. They were showing the landfills that come from that they have to fill up that comes from stuff from America because we're so obsessed with stuff. I said because the average human being is a dead man walking this earth. That's why we love that series, because there's nothing here. We're hollowed out as people. We have souls, but do we have consciousness? Do we have anything? Nothing has any meaning to us in America, and a lot of people. That's why we have people committing suicide. Why? Because what do you hold on to in this life? Does anything mean anything to you? We have a lot of people that don't have that. They don't have an anchor. And so that's what we get when we get. So I saw those landfills. I said, Jesus Christ, they were just horrible. Just all kind of stuff. Just stuff. There were like 3 or 4 or 5 mounds of stuff. And they said it came from America. I said, of course it did. Of course it did.
well,
So
you've seen the documentaries you see all the old clothing that's gotten shipped to different third world countries, and they're just overwhelmed with
yeah.
fast fashion and all the clothes that because here t-shirts are still pretty cheap to buy, and other clothes it's very cheap to
Mm-hmm.
buy. So if we don't have an appreciation for how much work and effort, and if the person's making subpar wages in another country, out of sight, out of mind, do I really,
Mm-hmm.
because I want to wear that in trendy thing, versus do I want to buy something that's more expensive but made well and someone's getting paid appropriate wages for their work and labor?
Mm-hmm. And
Anyway,
last something durable. Yeah, that came about as I was going to get my laptop fixed, and the battery was dead. So the guy was like, we started talking about batteries. I said, oh yeah, them lithiums. Then also the quality of what you're getting. I said, I don't want no battery from China. I'm sorry, because I don't want it to start a fire. Lithium. I don't want to blow me up in my apartment or my house. So it's
Michelle,
just
you would have loved me last year when I had to go buy a new washing machine, because they're
oh
telling me
no.
that they're like, oh, it lasts about 7 years. And I'm like, I'm sorry, I'm old. I
What?
remember when
What?
electronics lasted for 30 years. How did we get from 30
Exactly.
to 7? Well, most
Right.
people move
Planned
in 7 years.
obsolescence. They have a term for it. It's planned obsolescence. They
I
want
know
you to buy
exactly what
one
they're doing.
every 5 to 10 years.
Revenue stream, right? Revenue stream. Got to keep it going. Revenue stream. Yep.
But
Yeah.
that's part of the problem. But I think that will slow down if it's harder to throw things out or we run out of space. If you have to start paying hundreds of dollars to throw out trash, I think it's gonna be.
Recycle. Yes. Yeah.
I mean, we have to pay a
Mhm.
price, and it's
Mhm.
not cheap, but I mean, it's doable. But if I have to start paying $1,000 a month to get my trash removed, I think the way
Mhm.
I live would change
With
radically.
shifts. Exactly.
You know
And
what
it's
I'm saying?
not all trash is not created equal. Like styrofoam, there's something about
No.
styrofoam you can't even put that in the garbage. I have a subscription with Red Oak. Oh, you can't put styrofoam. They can't see it. You have to put it in a garbage bag where they can't see it, but you can't just throw it in the recycle bin. No styrofoam. I said, what is it with styrofoam? I guess it's some kind of chemical
You gotta
composition or some
recycle.
craziness.
It
It's
doesn't
weird.
break
It's weird.
down. I think the
Yes, that's
difference
it. It doesn't break down.
like with the old school styrofoam from the 80s and 90s doesn't break
Mm,
down.
mm, mm.
And I don't know if they have
Yeah.
different types now that we should go. You guys have a great New Year's Eve tonight. Thanks for showing up on this crazy, let's delay it a week
Thank
because
you.
we don't want to do it Christmas Eve day. I'm sorry that I'm not going to be moderating the evening ones the next 4 months because this
Right.
tapping dance recital thing is really important for me to focus on.
Mm-hmm.
I can tell you
Yes,
all how,
ma'am.
like, hey, I really screwed up on
Please.
the recital, or like, hey, I did okay.
You'll be
I got to
missed.
give
You will
myself
be missed,
maximum
ma'am.
practice time. So
Well, I will miss you, Miss Kim. Miss Kim, you'll be
I might
missed.
pop in
Thank you.
later in the evening, but like Andrea or Jen or it's someone else besides me will have to run the first hour and a half or so. So
Oh no. Oh no.
Good
Okay.
luck,
they're
All
going to
right.
everybody.
be
Good,
amazing.
but we'll
All right.
make it work.
It'll be
Yes, ma'am.
amazing. It'll be
Good
fun.
Yes.
luck.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good
You guys
one.
take care.
Happy New Year,
Same.
everyone.
Happy New Year, everybody. Happy New Year. Bye bye.